Cliff, you're up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol, our first show in January. And the electrons fighting us, but we're going to win. I see we have Eileen with us. Eileen, how are you?
Good morning. I'm okay. How are you? Happy 2026.
Yeah. How's your transmission?
Well, we have good days and we have bad days. So it's interesting. I have more stories to add about black ice and falling.
Oh.
So it's been an interesting week, but I like to always keep life interesting.
Yeah. And Mike, is that you?
No, we don't have Mike yet.
He texted and asked if he should just call.
Well, this morning's predicament's gone by us now because Zoom decided what they wanted to do was put out some new software this morning. It's encrypted stuff, so they're not going to send a text to you, the verification code. No, that's silly. We'll email it to you. So, had to go around all those curves. Now, America Online, my email company, they lap on other dogs' things, so they have a new face this morning, new verification code, and they're going to mail it to another email address, not AOL. But we're up. We're on. Thank you for your patience. Back over to you, Cliff.
All right. Thank you. It is cold outside. 14 degrees, 55% chance of precipitation. And I don't think that's going to be gentle rain. And as Eileen says, there's black ice all around. The U.S. national debt has not yet quite reached 38.7, so $1 trillion, still going upward. Looking back in history, in 1781, during the American Revolution, Richmond, Virginia was seized by British naval forces, led by former American General Benedict Arnold, and got burned. In 1895, in the Dreyfus Affair, Alfred Dreyfus was stripped of his rank and sentenced to life imprisonment on Devil's Island.
What did he do?
He did nothing, but he was accused of giving French state secrets to Germany. It turned out it was another member of the General Staff, Count Esterhazy. But this was a big deal in France 130 years ago. And anti-Semitism was part of the real problem.
Okay.
In 1912, the Sixth All-Russian Conference of the Russian Socialist Democratic Labor Party opened, and during the conference, Vladimir Lenin and his supporters broke from the rest of the party to form the Bolshevik movement. So you have the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. Good news here, in 1914, Ford Motor Company announced an 8-hour working day and minimum daily wage of $5 and salary plus bonuses. And Henry Ford decided if he was going to sell cars, he had to have people earning enough money to buy them. In 1990, the German Workers' Party was founded in Munich. It would eventually morph into the National Socialist Party, or the Nazis. In 1925, this one's for you, Eileen. Natalie Ross of Wyoming became the first female governor in the United States. 1933, construction of the Golden Gate Bridge began in San Francisco Bay. And if they were on the same pace as the Rourke Bridge, they'd still be building it.
Hey, Cliff, you ever hear of this guy, Damiens in France?
Say it again?
Damiens in France.
No.
He was the last to be executed by drawing and quartering him. And that happened in 1750s. Happened in 1757 today. January 5th.
Yep. I thought that wasn't all that interesting, but you're right. Drawn and quartered, they went to the guillotine.
They did all kinds of things. The guy just wouldn't die. He attempted to kill the king, but he really didn't. Oh, well. So are we going to get to the mayor pretty soon, Cliff?
Yeah, about a half hour.
Understood.
1953, the play Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett receives its premiere in Paris. Samuel Beckett, Irish author. 1972, President Richard Nixon announces the Space Shuttle program. 1975, the Khmer Rouge announced a new constitution of Democratic Kampuchea. In 1976, during the Troubles, gunmen shot dead 10 Protestant civilians after stopping their minibus at Kingsmalm in County Armagh, Northern Ireland, allegedly as retaliation for a string of attacks on Catholic civilians in the area by loyalists, particularly the killing of 6 Catholics the night before. So.
They killing the Muslims?
No.
How about Jews?
No.
Why don't we call it the Holocaust?
No, we didn't call it the Holocaust, the Troubles.
Troubles. How many have to die before we have a Holocaust?
It'll be a while. I was there, while I was there, I spent a year with the Royal Air Force. The troublemakers blew up a RAF bus, and they shot and killed the wing commander at the Joint Staff College. So we were told, don't leave your briefcase in the room. If it's unattended, they'll take it out into the soccer pitch and blow it up. Back in 1779, Zebulon Pike was born. He didn't live very long. He died in 1813, but Pikes Peak is named after him. In 1933, Calvin Coolidge passed away, 30th president. 1943, George Washington Carver passed away. Botanist, educator, inventor. He was born in 1864 as a slave. His mother and a sibling and he were all kidnapped. He was the only one recovered. And the former slave owners raised him as their own child. And in 1994, Tip O'Neill passed away, 55th Speaker of the House. Today is the feast day of John Newman. It's National Bird Day in the United States, and it's the 12th day of Christmas.
So we're gonna take all this stuff down tonight?
Yeah, we'll take it all down. So, before we delve into the new year, now would be a good time to review 2025 in case we need to do any closeout. Eileen, you have any big issues from last year?
I have plenty of big issues from last year, but I'm dropping it at the door of 2026, and I am more than happy to welcome 2026.
That is a good attitude. John, yourself?
Clean slate as of January 1st, all forgiven. New year, new people. Time to turn the page on my past.
I love that saying you have. Turn the page. Turn the page.
Yep, that's last year. Goodbye, good luck, God bless. Hey, Tommy Bowman might be zooming us pretty soon.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Does this mean, John, clean slate, that your Christmas gift, which I have not yet delivered, I don't have to?
You don't have to know. It's all right.
Yeah.
I do want to thank Jeannie Balkus. Where's my camera here? Jeannie gave us this nice card. Thanks, Jeannie. You're the best. Sent it all the way from Delightful Drinking. So thank you, Jeannie. Back to you, Cliff.
John, for some reason, that did not become the main camera. Something else was the main camera. Yeah.
Well, this is what's on the screen, Cliff. So the audience can see this, and you can't. That's so much for Zoom. There's only so many things I can do with Zoom. That's it.
So, normally when you're talking, what I see looks like the ceiling. But
Yeah, you're looking at the ceiling right now because that's off the iPad. I can shut that video off, though.
Well, no, I just thought it'd be nice to see you.
Well,
Hey, John, actually, can I ask a question? Like when I first started doing the show, or you had a picture of like all the co-hosts and everything who are like regulars on the show.
yes.
And can we do an updated one since so much has changed?
Yeah, if you like, sure. I mean, okay.
No. But it would have, like, you know how it was at your house and it was everybody around the table? I mean, I guess now with AI, you can probably crop everyone's faces out and make it happen.
I have not looked at that picture in a long time. I should make time to do that today. Maybe it is time for a new one. Is George Anthes still in it?
I want to say yes,
Okay.
he is. I was just thinking about it because it was so nice of Jeannie Balkus, and she's always like so supportive of everybody on the show. Like, what if we did like a City Life Christmas card like that? And then I'll send them out next year.
Good thinking, Batgirl.
So we have Mike Smith here.
Yeah, my tablet decided not to cooperate this morning, so I had to go through my phone. So,
Mike, I had a lot of difficulties myself. It seems as if Zoom is angry today.
okay. Well, hopefully we're not all angry today.
Now, so I guess the big thing is.
Tom Bumble's not coming. He's coming tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, I suggested to Ralph Hogan that if he wanted to talk about the Nicolas Maduro issue, that he reach out to you for a Zoom code. I take it he didn't do that.
I got no text from Ralph, correct?
All right. But for sure, that was the big issue at the very beginning of the year, the arrest of Nicolas Maduro.
Well, when you see the videos of "Come get me, coward," "Come get me, coward." Remember when Rocket Man did that? He don't do that no more. Rocket Man? Trump went over and visited him last term.
He did.
Yeah, that was the North Korean leader, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Trump's not somebody you want to mess around with, whether you agree with him or not. If he says he's going to do it, he's probably going to do it. So I'm a little bit concerned about going into Venezuela like this. I understand part of the reason is he's concerned about the Russian and Chinese and, of course, Cuba influence there, or Iran getting in there. Also with all the drugs. I think there's, behind some of this is, they took over all the oil industries, so all the oil companies basically lost everything they had invested down in Venezuela. So I think this is part of getting some payback. There's a whole bunch of different things going on here. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, why is he not telling us the whole truth?
He did say about the oil companies. I listened to his speech. He talked about the oil companies getting their money, getting money back. So he did mention that in his speech that he was talking about the oil companies and getting money back. So, I think he did say that. And I'm just concerned because every time we've gone into countries, it never seems to turn out the way we would like. So I guess we're just going to have to see how this goes. But it depends on how things move forward. I mean, are they going to really have democracy down there, quote, democracy or not? Are they really going to be able to knock out these cartels? We'll see.
Yeah, I think we have a very good shot at it because they don't mess with Trump. They know Trump's crazy. They don't know. They don't know what he's going to do, and most leaders will just say, "I'm afraid of that guy. He's crazy."
Well, they may say that. I don't think he's crazy. I mean, he has a plan. What amazes me about this whole thing is there was no leaks. I mean, I was shocked that they've been planning this for months and putting all this stuff together for months. It kind of reminds me, if you read history on D-Day invasions, the D-Day invasion, how they kept that kind of quiet. It just amazes me that there was no leaks that this was going to happen. That shows me that Hegseth coming in as the Secretary of War, that he's put his finger on everything and put the clamps down. You leak or you do anything, you're going to be out or you're going to jail. And I think that's been made real clear. So that's what amazes me, is that there were no leaks on this.
I agree, Mike. Good point.
So, there was an indictment printed out at 24 pages. They had done their paperwork down in the Southern District of New York. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So, but was the arrest legitimate?
Well, he's been indicted, and I don't see anybody coming after the United States on this. But I just think that Trump. A lot of people don't realize Trump doesn't smoke or drink. His one brother died from drugs or alcoholism. He's adamant about drugs. I mean, I don't think people realize how serious he is about this drug stuff. And he's really adamant against drug use and all that. So, they've been coming after him, with bombing the drug running boats and all the other stuff. And he basically tried to get Maduro to understand you can't be doing this stuff anymore. And he finally said, that's it. You're not going to cooperate, we're going to get you. And we'll see what happens. On a side note, I can't believe Mondami is more stupid than I thought he was. I mean, for him to shoot his mouth off against Trump again already on this, I just think he doesn't understand the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for New York City is that the federal government is going to have to come in and probably bail them out in some way, because Mondami's just going to bankrupt the city. And Trump is like, Mondami talking like this, Trump is going to like, nope, you're on your own, go down the black hole there. Because I don't think he's going to, help him out at all. And, I mean, already Mondami, some of the people he's appointing to run stuff is just, it's just terrible. I'm so glad I don't live in New York State anymore, because it's just going down. The state is going to go bankrupt at this rate.
So, do we think that the president needed congressional approval before he did this?
No.
No, absolutely not. Because if he tried to get Congress approved, we would have had dead people coming home in body bags now. I guarantee it. Because you got idiots that would have leaked it and talked about this and done all that. The whole reason that this worked is because they didn't expect him to do it. And I hope other people learn that they should listen to what he's saying. They kept this secret. They had it planned. It shows that the military is very, very well trained to carry out missions like this. And if he had gone to Congress, it would have been leaked. And then it would have happened.
I was just going to say also, it was from the Monroe document. Was it Teddy Roosevelt or who created that we could go into Latin American countries whenever? So I don't think anyone thought he would ever utilize that.
They always underestimate Trump on his intelligence and understanding stuff. I mean, they always underestimate him. The guy is, you may not agree with his how he says things or does things, but he's not a stupid person compared to our previous presidents. And the guy, every article I've read, he's a super listener. He listens to people with the information, and then he figures things out. He takes in all the data, and then he looks at the best way possible. He's a great deal maker. He can negotiate with people, but this thing, he's got smart people in there, and they're looking all this stuff up. It's just, the problem is we've had stuff on the books for years, just never used them, like you said, Eileen. And he looked at this and says, yeah, we can do this, and we're going to do it.
I got this comment from the audience. Good morning. No leaks because this administration does not trust the media. That's from Jay. Thanks, Jay. Back to Cliff.
Yeah. Now, the Monroe Doctrine goes back to the early 1800s, which is about 90 years before Teddy Roosevelt.
But it was created by President Monroe, but it was utilized. Was it utilized by Roosevelt?
Yeah, amongst other people, yeah.
And that's something like that I appreciate, that he's like bringing America back to its founding principles and how we were created in the first place. So we've kind of just taken history and being able to help America right now.
Yeah. So, going back to President Maduro, was he a legitimate president?
He was not recognized by a lot of countries. The election, it was clear that he had lost the election, and he just said, "The heck with it, I'm staying no matter what." So it's he was not legitimate.
He's like the modern day Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another drug runner.
So who's in charge now?
The Vice President of Venezuela.
Okay. So, the exit quote that I like, Hamas condemns U.S. attack on Venezuela, abduction of Maduro and his wife. I think Hamas is pretty familiar with that kind of activity.
Yeah, I think so.
So today here in Lowell, we have inauguration ceremonies for the city council and I believe the school committee, although the Lowell Sun didn't give the school committee much mention. At the Memorial Auditorium at 10 o'clock. Is that right, Eileen?
So, hold on one second. Yes, so I believe it is at earlier 10 o'clock at the auditorium for city council, but for us lowly school committee people, it's 11:30 after they choose the new mayor, and it'll be at City Hall chambers.
Oh, you guys are at City Hall.
Yeah.
So the important question is, what are you wearing?
I'm going to wear a dress, a black and white dress with maybe a cover or all because it's freezing, an over-the-holder shoulder boulder or something like that. Yeah, and maybe on Friday's show we can have fashion critiques.
Oh, that'd be good. So
yeah, we can be like the new Joan Rivers.
I don't think anybody's going to beat Connie. Connie's always best dressed.
Yeah, I can never pull off the shoes that she does. She's got all the respect in the world for that.
She dresses like dynamite. Good stuff.
So, who's going to be elected mayor? We have two leading candidates. Well, that wouldn't be right. Who are the candidates, Eileen?
For mayor?
Yeah.
So, this is all hearsay for what I know of. Obviously, Mayor Wark wants to be mayor again. That's not a question in mind. I know I had heard Desna wanted to be mayor as well. And then my Aunt Midge told me yesterday that Belinda Durand said that she wanted to be mayor on her first term, and I hadn't even heard that until yesterday. But I mean, I find that will be interesting, but I think overall it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I think there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff happening in the process. Because of my ghetto what-if analysis, right? So you know there is definitely, for Danny, he's definitely going to get his vote. He's going to get Rita Mercia's vote, Kim Scott, John Dakota. The question marks for me are Sakari, Vesna, and Sidney Liang. But my question mark of like what's going to happen is with, I think Belinda would be there. Sean McDonough would be there because these are all people who wanted something different. I would also say Sidney Liang would maybe be there. Eric Gittier and Corey are always on the, not going to vote for the normal. And then Sakari and Vesna are another question to me of what they would vote or who they would vote for. So I'm very interested to see what happens. Is that all live stream today, John, on LTC?
LTC will cover both of them, and check on channel 6 or 8. You can check 22, but usually channel 6 or channel 8. They'll have that live. Now, but while I have your ear, Zoom is going to kick us off in 9 minutes. So what I'll do is when they kick us off, I'll relight everything and we'll see where it goes. Apparently they've forgotten about me in the new year, and I might have to rejoin them.
Oh, geez.
No big deal.
That's true. So, something to think about is President Trump morphing from Mr. Peacemaker to something else. I mean, he had this year, attacks in Syria, Nigeria, and now this. Do we think he's changed, or do you think he's just tidying things up?
Well, I heard an interesting theory yesterday down at Happy Hampton Beach. Made so much sense to me that, let me move the camera over to, where am I? Jesus Christ, I can't show you guys. Okay, at any rate, apparently the software that counted the elections in 2020 was made in Venezuela. Did anybody else hear that?
No.
No, I didn't, but...
So, Mike, you know more? It did not?
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know where it was made, that software. That's I'm not sure about.
Okay, well, somebody threw that out in the hemisphere yesterday on the internet or down. I was up at Hampton Beach, so usually I don't run into anybody who talks about politics down there, but I must have. That was their theory.
That'd be an interesting theory. But I don't think of Venezuela as a software giant, but could have been the right people.
This is the United States of America, where we buy from our friends, or we can find a way to buy from our friends. How is it that Boeing sells us all of our aircraft? How did they win all those bids?
Well, it used to be good engineering.
That was the B-17 days. How about 2026?
They bought McDonnell Douglas to give them new purchase.
Why not the European plane? Why can't we buy them from the European people? Why do we have to buy from Boeing?
Because there's a Buy America Act.
Tell us more about the Buy America Act as I see federal vehicles, federal people driving Kias with federal plates on their car, driving Kias. Kias are made in, just so you know, they're made in South Korea.
I'll check with the experts I know and see where we are on the Buy America Act.
I think the Democrats, or the people in power, just look the other way.
Yeah.
So this thing says they're going to kick us off in 5 minutes, 7 seconds. And
All right.
I'll send you a new invite and all that other good stuff. And we'll make it go from another account that I have, and hopefully it will remember me.
So, Mike, were you going to make some comment about Trump having a aggressive first few days of the new year?
Well, I don't know if it's aggressive. He's always aggressive. But basically, from everything I've seen on this thing with Venezuela, he's basically told them, you need to cooperate with us to move forward, or else we're going to come back after you too. So the vice president there was shooting her mouth off initially, and then last night on another interview, she's saying, well, we want to work with the United States. So Trump is trying to get ahead of the curve for the elections. He wants to get as much done to show the Republicans are doing something that benefits the U.S. And he's not messing around with setting up a committee and we're going to do an investigation, whatever. He's going after all this stuff because right now he's got only another 3 years in office.
Yeah, 3 more years.
Yeah, so he knows how that works, and his opinion is the first year was a good year. The GDP was good for the economy in the third quarter. It's probably going to be good from the fourth quarter. He sees things moving forward. Gas went down. Some prices have dropped. He's moving forward. He has a plan, and I don't think it's necessarily as aggressive. It's just like, I've got things to get done, and with Maduro, he said, hey, you need to cooperate. If you're not, then we're going to do something about it. And Maduro was shooting his mouth off, and he found out that Trump meant what he said. You know, he's been playing this for a while, so I don't think it's aggressive. I just think he's always running full tilt.
I gotta run this. Read these two remarks from the audience. Happy 2026. Does the kidnapping of Maduro have to do with the declining dollar versus BRICS as a new world currency?
Talking about BRICS. That's what he's talking about, BRICS.
More so, he says, if it was really about drugs invading Venezuela, would we have invaded Mexico a long time ago? Well, Trump's been in just a year, so yeah, I guess. Time is short, Cliff. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Venezuela versus Mexico. We've been able to have an impact on the Mexican border. The Mexican president was legitimately elected, and she's not poking a stick in Trump's eyes. So I think that it's politically, socially, economically, it's a different situation. Eileen, you have any thoughts? Hello, Eileen.
So, Cliff, I think we're going to leave it there. I'm going to shut off Zoom.
Go for it.
Now, for the audience, you're going to continue to see YouTube is still going to be working, as well as Facebook, they'll still be working. But Zoom, I got to restart Zoom. So,
Okay.
Cliff and Mike, you're going to have to re-sign in. Give me 5 minutes tops. Thanks, guys.
All right. I'll leave.
Sorry, kids. Thank you for your patience. I'll put the music back up. How you doing?
Good, yourself?
Get back up. I don't see Eileen, just you.
Yeah, that is a little strange, isn't it?
It is now time for City Life Show, and it's John McDonough, the producer, and myself right now. We're looking for others to be joining us. We've been talking about what's been going on in Venezuela, and President Maduro, who seized power. Here's Mike Smith, who is on mute. Wave, Mike, so that we know that you're... Thank you. So, Mike, are you on mute yourself, or is John keeping you on mute for your...
I'm good now. Now it should be good. I was pressing the buttons that wasn't cooperating. So.
It's Monday.
Yeah. It's
first show of the year.
Yeah, there you go. So, but no, we're making it despite all the issues. So we'll make it somehow.
So I see that everyone's favorite mayor, Zoran Mamdani, is been he nixed a couple of the executive orders that were left over from Eric Adams' time, including one on anti-Semitism and one on boycotting Israel. So he did defend his actions on how that even some local Jewish groups feel they are a little strict. So I don't know where that really sits. But you have any early thoughts on Mr. Mamdani?
Well, I mean, he hasn't. Some of this is with anti-Semitism, and he's really not. He's trying to talk out of both sides of his mouth. On the one hand, he's talking about the infidada, and then on the other hand, he's saying, well, anti-Semitism, we're going to battle against that. You can't have it both ways. And he seems to want to try to have it both ways to please all his, liberal socialists in New York City, but then he also is trying to please all the Jewish vote because they're a substantial vote too. So the problem is now that he's elected, he's there for 4 years, I believe, as mayor. And so they're stuck with him. So, be careful what you wish for, because a lot of the Jewish voters voted for him too. And
I say give him 90 days. Give him 90 days.
Yeah. We'll see. But I've been watching some of the people he's trying to appoint to different positions, and boy, I don't know how he's going to do. With the free bus and the housing. It's the typical playbook that we're going to go after the rich and we're going to tax them more, and then we're going to go after the landlords. The slumlords. That's what he's saying now. We're going to go after all these slumlords. And, what's going to happen is these people, they're just going to abandon the real estate, or they'll sell it to somebody else and leave. I mean, that's what's happening with all the people make money. They're just moving out of New York City and going to Florida or Texas or wherever else there's no state income tax, and they said, the heck with it. We can do business anywhere. So the people that are left are the people that are middle income or poor to pay all the expenses, and, they're going to just get taxed more. I mean, New York City is probably one of the highest taxed areas in the whole country,
if not the highest. They got New York City tax, they got state income tax, and they've got federal tax. So people are paying 3 different taxes on their income, and it's not getting any better from what I'm seeing. I don't see how it's going to get lower.
Yeah. So, speaking of all of this, have you sent in your donation to the Joseph Biden Presidential Library?
Absolutely not.
No.
And, you know, presidents can have libraries if they want. I've been reading up on that. But basically, what's happening is people are saying, you know, we're not going to give him any money. He didn't do anything for us. He's not helping us anymore. He has no political leverage. I mean, compared to like Obama or Clinton or, you know, any of the Bush, the past presidents in the last 20 years, they still got influence on stuff. Biden, he has no influence for anything. Nobody's begging him to come speak at $300,000-$400,000 to speak at different conferences or whatever, like Hillary got after she left the Secretary of State. I mean, I don't see where the money spigot for him is turned off. So I don't see how he's even going to be able to afford or fund the presidential library. The money that the startup money came from his campaign money, so nobody else is saying, "Oh, let's support him." So I wouldn't be surprised if he barely has a library, or you know, it closes down.
Yeah, do we need one?
Well, I understand Bill Clinton lives at his library, and nobody says anything. But that's where Bill Clinton lives. He lives at his library.
Well, would you want to be with Hillary all the time?
Well, why isn't it publicized?
Why?
90 days ago, there was a story circulating about a good-looking Hollywood woman and Barack were having a go-around. And where did that go?
Because who control what the media? Who are they after all the time? They're after Trump. You know, Obama's their hero. You know, Clinton's their hero. You know, all that stuff. So they're not going to say anything bad about them. They loved what they did.
No, I see the media. The media is trying to make us hate a different religion. This new New York mayor, given 90 days, hands off, let him get his hands dirty, and let's see what happens with the guy.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, I agree with you, John. We'll give, we'll do hands off on him for a while, but, you know, I just don't see where either he's going to adjust or he's going to just burn it all down, you know, because, you know, he thinks that now that he's mayor that he knows everything, and I don't think that, and he has to give in to the socialists. He keeps saying, I'm a democratic socialist. He doesn't even try to even mute that a little bit. He's proud to say it, and he believes what he's doing. But this is another rich family guy that, you know, thinks he knows better than everybody else. A lot of people don't realize his family's got money, you know, and so he's never worked a job before. You know, he's always gotten, you know, the family has money. It's, you know, we'll see how it comes when he's got to actually be accountable and manage things.
Hey, I got 2 texts I'm going to read to you because the texts just aren't coming through like they normally do. Let me hit this cancel button here. And this one says, Mr. McDonough is using New York as a springboard to the White House. He doesn't care about the citizens of New York. I understand what you're telling me, Jay. Continuing his last text from Jay, Barack Obama's library is way over budget and not on time. Back to you, Cliff.
I don't think McDonough is constitutionally qualified to be president. I think he was born in Uganda.
Where's his birth certificate? Get his birth certificate.
Yeah, I think Cliff is right. I don't think he was born in the U.S., so...
Keyword there is think. Where's his birth certificate?
Yeah.
Now's the time to get it, because when he runs for president, he'll have one printed in Georgia.
We'll see. We'll
You don't
see.
think? Before digital, he was born before digital age. It's very easy to do.
So, my parting thought on this was, I understand Letitia James fumbled Zoran Memdani's name when she was swearing him in. I did not catch that live, so I can't confirm that. Eileen is with us, and she's being sworn in today at what time?
11:30 at City Hall Chambers. I'm sorry I pulled a disappearing act for a little bit. We had bus driver issues, so we had to figure out a meeting spot. Say good morning, Anthony. Good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
So
So-
where you going now, Eileen?
Well, we're just waiting. I just drove through the city, since the city is like the most traffic, to meet the bus driver at the Chili's on Industrial Ave so they can just get on the highway and go.
You have to drive him over there?
Just this morning, his bus driver overslept.
I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
But usually it's door-to-door service. It's very classy.
Cool.
So you're sworn in at 11:30 in City Hall in the mayor's reception room? Or
I
in,
thought it was in the chambers. Last year it was in the 2 years ago, we started in the mayor's reception room, and then we all walked out, and there was a ceremony in the City Hall chambers.
that makes sense. But the city council was sworn in at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And,
I'm going to be live streaming that on my phone, watching who becomes the next mayor, because I feel like that is going to be the most interesting tea of the day.
Now,
Yeah.
we're going to have a police motorcycle at the auditorium to race the new mayor up to your swearing in?
Honestly, I don't know how it usually happens. Is that how it usually happens?
Well, how else is the mayor going to get there unless he has? I know we didn't buy a helicopter. I would have heard about that one. We have plenty of motorcycles, cops. So I'm going to guess he's going to get a police ride. He's probably left his car. All the councilors left their car at City Hall, and he's going to get a ride up to City Hall. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, being new to politics, I know this is my third term, but all I remember, there's just so much energy going on. The first time we were sworn in, it was at the high school, and it was just the mayor appeared. I didn't know the process of what happened before. Then, like 2 years ago, it was at the chambers, and then Danny Rourke was there, so I guess, like, we birth a new mayor today, or we rebirth the same mayor. So it's just interesting to me how it all happens. So this is the first time I'm actually following the sequence of events that it's happening, instead of just showing up and saying, here's your new baby mayor.
Last time I checked, the city clerk is in charge of assembling this whole thing. The last time I really had a gripe about this, Bob Gignac was being sworn in on, I don't know if it was city council or school committee, but Bob Gignac was being sworn in. And I met his grandmother at the door. And she's in the back. I said, well, why aren't you sitting up front? She says, I have a ticket, but I can't get up front. I said, oh, well, we'll take care of that. So I went to the then city manager, Eileen Delrossi, and she immediately got a chair for Bob's mother and put it right next to the rail so she didn't miss a trick. And I asked Eileen, who organized this fiasco? And she said the clerk. So the clerk organizes these things with no direction. He just makes it up as he goes. Who does he take direction from? The city council thus far has never had the guts to ask him who he's taking direction from. So we'll see if that changes. Back over to you, Cliff.
Interesting.
So, Pretty interesting. What are you wearing, Eileen?
I'm gonna wear a black the middle of it is black and the sides are white. I picked it out last night. And then probably like maybe a shawl or a over the boulder shoulder type of thing, or just maybe like a cardigan over it. Shoes will be flat. See, this is where I'm very concerned. Like, I want my mother to come, but I don't at the same time because it's so cold, and I honestly don't trust myself. I brought my mother's brother to visit her the other day, and I slipped on black ice with his wheelchair, and he fell completely back on me, and I have the biggest bruise. It's just, I don't remember a winter that there's been so much black ice, and I don't think it's been this cold in a while.
No.
My pipes froze, and then I figured out how to unfreeze them. I'm learning lots of new things.
How did you unfreeze them?
Well, so I got a heater from downstairs. Well, we realized they were frozen Friday because Anthony couldn't take his bath, so I tried to do the space heater, but then it got so late that I just shut everything down. The next morning, I woke up early, I got the space heater there, there's 2 sections of pipes, and I just let the space heater run on the bigger pipe section, and then the smaller pipe section I just insulated with towels. And then, what time did you start hearing it on Saturday, Ron? About 2. So it took like 6 hours.
So I have not had frozen pipes. My little trick is most of the buildings that I'm involved with. Where's my picture? God damn. A little pokey today. Okay, there I am. So what I do is I have a 30-inch $20 fan. I got it at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I leave that plugged in. It turns on for an hour. Shuts off for an hour. Turns on for an hour, shuts off for an hour. And I don't have any mold in my cellar. Any of my cellars, there's no mold, there's no smell, and the pipes don't freeze anymore. And so I encourage you to go to Home Depot while you're over there. It's Lowe's is right around the corner. Get one of those fans, plug it in down cellar, and just leave that sucker running until springtime. Back over to you, Cliff.
Yeah. Well,
Can you send me a picture of that, John? What you're talking about?
The fan?
Yeah, because I'm like half listening.
I understand. Yep. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have a small table lamp that we put under the sink, and to make sure that it's warm enough.
Do you think that's where the freeze point is, under the sink?
Yeah.
Then I would just leave a fan forcing air from the floor into that cavity.
Well, the advantage is it heats it up a little bit more, and then that heat radiates out through the pipes so that there's no freezing upstream.
We had the problem we had a severe problem at the Belvedere over at Mahoney, severe problem with freezing pipes over there until we put the fan in. Since we put the fan in, only one place gets frozen pipes, and that's when it's when it's below 0, and we put a fan under the sink, and that alleviates that problem.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with the position too. So my front door, obviously, and the upstairs bathroom is at the front of the house, but we get such a draft from the park up on by Gage. So I think even though I've insulated that area in the front hallway downstairs, it still gets so cold, such a draft there. So it was weird because the sink.
The sink what?
The sink pipes did not. The sink pipes did not freeze, which is right next door. It was only the bathtub pipes that froze because of the placement. Can you hold on 1 second? I have to pick up this phone call.
Let Cliff take over.
Okay. So, I think I'd like to hear more about the accident. So, with
accident?
the wheelchair.
What accident?
Well, she tipped over the wheelchair with her uncle.
Well, she's on the phone. She's not listening to you right now.
I know that. So, I thought I'd move ahead with...
Well, how about the mayor's election? Who do you think is going to be the mayor? We're in Lowell now.
I know. I try and think it each way, and I'm not sure I know who's going to be mayor. And I think that it'd be, in a lot of ways, good for the city for Vesna to be mayor. He represents the Cambodian community. He represents immigration. He's a pretty serious fellow.
Your mom's?
No, we're not your mom.
So reading this text from the audience, I thought the planet was heating up. How could all those pipes be freezing? Well, actually, Jay, they're in Venezuela, those pipes. They're Venezuelan pipes.
Danny Rourke has got the experience. He's got a lot of government experience, contacts, and has not done a bad job the last 2 years. So I'm not sure who they're going to get, but I don't want to jump on this without Eileen being here. But I do worry that there's a certain amount of concern out there amongst the voters over the issue of schools. And that could, if it comes to a crisis, that could cause a problem. Yesterday, I think it was in the column, Melanie Gilbert made the comment that the voters are a little restless. So
the voters don't know what they're doing anymore. And this is not a popularity contest. This is 11 people going to vote. That's it. And will Tom Golden retain his power, or will he lose it? If the mayor gets in, the manager retains his power. If anybody else gets in, the manager will lose a lot of his voltage. That's what it's all about. Will the manager continue on high voltage?
Well, I mean, that's the outcome, but I'm sure Danny Rourke would like to serve another term. And I think Vesna feels he's paid his dues and he'd like a shot at it.
Well, Eric Gitchie is in the running too. My take is it's Rita Mercy is the first run through. If Rita Mercy gets elected, there's a possibility Rita Mercy is going to get elected mayor the first run, because a lot of people have guaranteed their votes already. I didn't ask them who they guaranteed. They didn't offer it up, and to the politicians I talked to. And then Eric Gitchie said he doesn't want it, but apparently he does, because he's in the running. He told Gary Frascarelli, but Gary Frascarelli, longtime friend of mine, his nickname is Flaming Pants. He makes up the news. Liar, liar, telephone, liar, liar, pants on fire. That's where he got that nickname, Flaming Pants. Because his pants are on fire very often. And so far as Vesna hasn't reached out of his tribe. Vesna hasn't reached out to the American community. He's going to his all of his neighbors up there. I don't blame him that he has deep support up there. But Vesna has support all across the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really is out everywhere, too. over the summer, I would just constantly see him out with him and his family. And I mean, if he can get me a meeting with David Yannetti from the Karen Reed case, I mean, he'd have my vote if I was on the council.
Tell us how you tipped over your uncle in the wheelchair.
Oh my God, trust me, I've invested so much money in rock salts and like the one with the calcium in it, because that's how bad it is. So take him out, I get him down the stairs, the 3 stairs that we have, and then I'm walking, and I think it's the new boots that I bought. I got boots at Burlington Coat Factory, but I feel like they're a little slippery at the bottom, and I just, like, 1 foot in front of the other, and then 1 foot backwards on the ice, and his whole entire wheelchair and his body fell on me, and I just was in like so much shock that I just got up and kept moving, but I am banged up from it like a few days later. But I was nervous about him. I obviously told the nursing home when I brought him back what happened, and I went the next morning and checked on him, but my aunt made a good point. He's like, of course he's going to be fine. He fell on top of you. I was like, good point.
Well, Eileen, when you go over to Home Depot later on, or Lowe's, look around for those cleats that go on the bottom of your feet. They look stupid, but they work like a champ.
Yes, my aunt came over with those, actually, and she was telling me I need to get those, and I'm like, I'm going.
Just go into Lowe's. It's Lowe's over in the Highlands, so you'll be in the Highlands.
Yeah.
So go to Lowe's. I'll send you a picture of that fan, and get those cleats and just leave them in your car. You put them on, and I'll tell you, it's like walking in summer. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
You're
I do need
to try it.
So, in local news, I was surprised to find out that Christchurch United is closing this month. John, do you have a picture of that? It's on Merrimack Street, least between the medical building and the Immaculate Conception Church.
Ah, okay.
But they're down to just 15 people in the congregation, and they talked to Pastor Ross Allen, and he said just 20 years ago they had several hundred people, but it's worn down to 15. COVID was a factor. Cost of maintaining a historic building, pastoral transitions. It all kind of fell apart. They're at 180 Merrimack, and they're apparently selling it to the they're going to move their operation to First Congregational Church in Billerica, beginning later this month, and they said it's going to be sold and become a new campus for All People Church of North Reading in February. But
those are the people who run the Elks Lodge, I think.
They run the what?
They run what used to be the Elks Lodge.
Oh, okay. Then, but John raised a question about with the church shutting down. The Catholic Church has suppressed several parishes in the Lowell area.
I'm going to take a picture of the church down, okay?
Okay.
That puts you back up.
All right. When we first got up here 30 years ago, I used to go to the Lithuanian church down there almost on the river, but that parish got suppressed. So
on Eileen's accident, Jay says Eileen, get in touch with attorneys Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe and sue the city.
I am laughing.
Oh, sorry about that. I know I talked about the speed humps on my street, but additionally, yeah, they don't really take care of any of the sidewalks, like pre-treating or anything, which I often question what is our property, what is the city property, but I really don't know. And then, what else was I going to say? But we have speed humps that they put across on Beacon Street. The other day, New Year's Day, I was like, what's that black thing in the middle of the road? And so I have this thing called contact lens, I think it is, and I took a picture of it, and it said it's a traffic calming method. But I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. It was in the middle of the street. It just didn't look right, so I took it off the street, and then I put it, because it looked like it could mess somebody's car up, and I put it in, I put it right against my wall. But I'm like, the city wouldn't do something like that and throw just like a black thing for a speed hump.
Yeah.
I have no words.
Ask Jay to comment. We used to have them on Fairmount, and then they took them out.
You have those black things?
Yeah. But we still have them in various parts of Belvedere.
Which works out good, because I should have said I should have asked
It looks
him.
dangerous.
So anyway,
If you hit it very fast, it could be dangerous.
That's all I kept thinking, and it wasn't even placed appropriately. It looked like it was just thrown there and run over a few times.
Well, call Corey Robinson. He'll fix it.
I know. I haven't gotten that far, though. I've been busy falling on my face.
You gotta
On my back.
see,
My back.
it's Lowell, the only place on the planet where a pothole gets to the city council agenda. We have a very crooked city, I think.
Actually, I am reasonably happy with Lowell. When I think places like Seattle, Minneapolis, what's that place in Oregon?
Cliff, when's your appointment up?
Well, I don't know, a couple years.
Oh, okay. Tell me, why is a pothole on the city council agenda? Why does it take the city council agenda to fix a pothole in Lowell?
I don't know. But at least it's getting mentioned. I think that's...
Well, Cliff, we have, you dial 311, you do this, you do that. You don't have to do all that stuff. Once you record it, the city should just go and fix it. You shouldn't have to go to a city councilor to get fixed.
Yeah, I agree. So, you asked we talk about, and I think Mike might have some thoughts on this, is Christianity in decline, or is it not? For instance, Charlie Kirk represents Turning Point USA. They seem to be doing a pretty good job of getting people enthusiastic about religion. So
Yeah, I've been reading and looking at news articles, and a lot of the churches are saying more of the younger people are coming back to religion, going to churches or being involved with religion because they're looking for something in life, because they're not happy with the way things are going, and they want to have something to more meaning in their life. So it seems like from what I'm seeing, they've been having more and more people getting involved with Christianity, a lot of it.
what's your take, Eileen?
Can you repeat what you just said?
Well, the question is, are young people turning away from religion, or are they turning back to religion?
Oh, like you said, after Charlie Kirk was killed, I think that a lot of people, myself included, ended up going back to church because of his belief in the greater power and that we do need, a higher power in our life. Even though, I'm Catholic, he's Christian, but I think that was huge because I think we all need something greater than ourselves to worship and believe it.
Well, you want to have meaning in life, and part of that is religion, where people believe in something strongly, like Eileen was saying, and I think that's what a lot of the younger people are looking for, more meaning in life than, just existing.
Well, I think that this always gets missed because people don't want to tick off their pastor, and I don't have a problem with ticking off the pastor. You're boring. How many times have you heard the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story in your lifetime? How many times have you heard that? Now, I've heard it at least 70 times. And Cliff, how many times have you heard Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
Oh, dozens and dozens.
Okay, so you're in your 80s. I'm in my 70s. We're not going to ask anybody else about their age. But I've heard every gospel 70 times. Okay, 65 times. All right, maybe 60 times. How many times have I got to hear the same story and basically regurgitated homily that I've heard 60 times as well? And none of the churches seem to realize this. Well, that's what our people want. No. You don't ask your people what they want. Now, I'm lucky enough to drive around with the pastor of every church that there is. Be it Muslim, be it Jewish, Catholic, Christian, I don't care what it is. The pastor sits in the front seat of the hearse. We're stuck with each other for half an hour while we drive to the cemetery. We usually enjoy a great conversation. And I will tell the guy, why don't you get a seasoned grandmother to give the homily of this week's gospel? Now, if you did that seasoned grandmother, who'd come? Well, her husband, who doesn't go to church, he would go. All of her brothers and sisters would go. All of her kids would go. And all of her grandchildren would go. So there is another 15 people going to go to your Mass, Father, just because this woman's speaking. Just something to consider. And they go, oh, that's against canon law. I see canons at the Lowell Cemetery. There's 3 of them. Do they have anything to do with those canon laws? So the church has got to wake up and get with this century if they're going to get these kids are addicted to their phone. Find an app they're going to get addicted to. Like, I see all these ads for the new Jesus show. I think it's called The Chosen. They made another, I think Netflix made another series of Chosen. And I'm looking forward to watching that. I really enjoyed the first series. And I encourage everybody else to watch it. But if the Christian church took it upon themselves to get out of the old century and get into 2026. And the same thing with all the other religious places. They're talking in a different language where the kids don't even understand it anymore. The intermarriage that we see of religions.
Want to come in? Or do you want me to give you money? What kind do you want?
So, let's go to you, Cliff.
Yeah, I do think I know the difference between canon and canon. And one has 2 ends and one has 1 end. And that's pretty much the limit of my spelling ability. But now you have me interested in where does canon with 2 ends come from.
The church that I started going to did have the grandmothers that would give the gospel. They would read it, and then the priest gave a very concise, direct to the point homily, and it was a quick mass. class, and it made it interesting. It was St. Bernard's in West Newton, and it was
No,
actually...
Eileen, respectfully, okay? I don't care for the priest's opinion. I don't care for it. I've heard it 65 times. Father, you read the gospel. You read from the good book. Yeah, read from the good book, and then you call upon Auntie May. Auntie May, come up and tell me what's your take on today's gospel. Why should it be so hard to do that? Shouldn't be. But this character, the church you're going to, he's decided, I'll just have them read from the good book, and that'll put him up on the stage. No, I want those women's opinions, please. Because most women are superior thinkers to men. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, well, just out of curiosity, what are you basing that on? Most women are superior thinkers to men.
Cliff, when your car keys are missing, do you ask Martha, have you seen my keys? And I will bet you she never asks you. Back over to you, Cliff. That's my example of women as superior thinkers.
Okay. I mean, I have my own examples. If I'm in a store and I want to know where something is, I pick a female clerk over a male clerk.
Why is that?
I've had better luck.
Because females are superior thinkers to men.
In certain areas.
But my worst example is, there you are, you're down Happy Hampton Beach, walking in the water with your girlfriend. You got her hand, and you're just swinging your hand, and she's thinking, oh, it's so nice, he's holding my hand, and we're walking through the waves. I can feel the water on my ankles. It's just such a beautiful day. And all the guy is thinking about three things. Three things is all he's thinking about. So when do we eat? Are there any sharks? Is there any chance that we'll be having some private time later, honey? And back over to you, Cliff.
All right. What can I say? But maybe that's important because maybe that's part of nature's design, because it's all about reproduction.
Well, to get my grandchildren off of their electronic devices is going to be a very good hurdle, because the TV stations they never watch Channel 5. I mean, not sometimes. Never watch 4, 5, 7. They have no idea what the news is. But they know if SpongeBob SquarePants has new shoes. But they have.
And Roadblocks has a game called Brain Rot or Die that kids can steal points from, and when you hear that just explains so much. Brain rot or die.
Well, I like to pick on our fearless Congresswoman, Lori Trahan, because Lori does nothing about this. Cell phone addiction, or as I call it, digital addiction, could go away just like that. All she has to do is address the FCC, who licenses these people to put out these addicting devices, and tell them to, any addictive device on the market, within 30 days, you're going to lose your entire license. And the addicting qualities in all these programs would be gone instantly. Something that's got to be done.
Yeah. I thought, as we were starting to close out, I'll give Mike a chance if he wants to make a comment, then I'll bring up the new topic.
Well, I mean, it's because the kids, they get on these devices and there's no supervision. And of course the games are designed to keep you in there. They do psychological research on, getting the adrenaline and endorphins and all that other stuff going. And so these games are designed to keep you engaged with it. And of course with kids, they're not mature enough to realize that they need to cut down on their time. Of course, there's a lot of adults that are spend a lot
1941, son of Joseph Shea and Ann T. Hadley Shea Oliver. So, I've met Phil Shea. John, I figure you know Phil Shea pretty well, huh?
Yeah, Phil's a great guy. I always enjoyed my conversation with Phil. He knew a lot about Lowell's historic political past.
Yeah. So that was a loss. To me, it seemed like he went young. So that's something for us to think about. He was an accountant, went to Bentley School, so that was good.
So we were on mute. What happened was the battery died that carried the show. So thank you for the heads up. Battery's all better now. Reading this text here. Is Trump USA a money laundering operation for Arizona Republicans? Are there very shady tax filings for the various shell companies involved with Trump USA? That's from Bart. I don't know, but I bet you he'll be able to build it. I bet you he has the money for his library, and I don't think Joe Biden is ever going to build a library.
Is he talking about Trump USA or Turning Point USA?
I think you're blurring it. I think it's Trump.
Oh, okay.
I never
Because
heard of
Turning Point USA is in Arizona, so.
Yeah, that's why I wondered.
I never heard of him before it came out of Cliff's mouth.
Okay, well, that was the organization that Charlie Kirk founded, and his wife Erica, Charlie Kirk, yes, and his wife Erica is carrying on since he's passed away. Eileen, is there a growing movement about schools? I mean, the Lowell Sun had an op-ed titled "America Needs an Education Moonshot." Are we facing a sort of small revolt with regard to education?
I mean, I think we've already started experiencing it, especially with, we're graduating kids that don't know how to read, and it's because we're so smart in America and at the Department of Education that there's so much money that people, like the districts keep changing curriculum and education, and it needs to just go back to basics, so there is a bit of a revolt. I want to find the clip about, it was on Fox News, and I saw it briefly, the teacher talking about how kids today don't even have the background knowledge to connect ideas and to think on a higher conceptual level. They just think at the very basic level. But it's because, now they're taught that they need to be able to write sentences and paragraphs by the end of, second or third grade, which is not developmentally appropriate, but we're pushing for that because it looks good with No Child Left Behind, but we're lacking teaching kids how to connect thoughts and how to be able to carry over ideas and how to articulate it. Because
tomorrow's City Life guest, it's going to be, Tommy Bubble's not coming. He's feeling under the weather. He's going to likely zoom in. Francisco Maldonado, he's going to be here. Marty Lowry's going to be here. And Bob Always going to be here. Time is short. Back over to Cliff.
Okie dokie. I think this education issue needs to be explored a little bit more.
Cliff, why does the union promote children who can't pass the test?
Well, is that the union or is that the school system itself overall?
Cliff, the school system, the teacher has to say pass or fail.
Yeah?
Why are the teachers going along with this?
I don't know. Worked for me.
Don't give them a bailout. We're $17,000 per student, and they can't read. Thank you, Paul George. It's a great show today, Colonel. Turning Point. USA, not Trump USA. See, Wolf, see, I'm going to tell you, whoever you might be, I don't care for all of your fanatical, stupid little LMNOPs. Don't abbreviate. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay, well, that's it. It's a new year. It's a new opportunity for all of us. We're going to have elections in the fall. They're going to be important. They're going to be important locally, by state level, and they're going to be important nationally. Will Trump continue on because he gets Republicans reelected to the House and Senate, or will the Democrats take over the House and start impeaching him every other week? Which, if that happens, I figure he's just going to pull the plug and be gone by April of 2027.
Good
Let
point.
J.D. Vance deal with it.
I doubt that Trump would ever resign. He won't do that. But he's got good lawyers and people in there. He'll find ways
Hey,
around
goodbye,
it. He
everybody.
found ways around it before.
See
So
you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
all right, okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, we'll try next Monday again. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see
fun.
what happens in the next week. All right?
Okie doke.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Thanks, Cliff.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll see you.
Have a good day, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Okay, come on.